Hello everyone. I just wanted to give a brief tutorial about using John the Ripper within Kali Linux and cracking some passwords. You can do this with zipped password files. You can do this with Windows password files. You can also do it just to test it out on your own Linux operating system just to see if you can crack your own password and if it needs to be strengthened or not. So it is relatively easy. All you need to know is where the password file is located, and we're going to input that into John. The first thing you're going to do to test to make sure John the Ripper is actually installed on your system is you pull up a CLI here in Kali Linux, and we're just going to type John. All right, so if you see stuff like that come up, tells you what version you're running, and it gives you all the different options. Most of the time, unless you're getting into some serious different advanced configurations, you're not actually going to use that. That's if you want to input your own salts, um, different types of encodings or rules. But to make it simple, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull up John the Ripper, and we're going to ask it to crack our own user password. And that's always going to be found in the etc folder, the etc folder, and it was a shadow file is actually what it's called. That's where all the passwords are kept in their encrypted format. Usually it's SHA-256 is the hash. So all we do, enter that in, hit enter. See, it's detected hash type, SHA 512-bit encryption. Okay. And it's going to take a good bit of time here running through a bunch of different word lists using the correct hash. Basically what it does is each word list, it's going to take that word, it's going to run it through the hash, compare it to what's in there. It's going to keep doing it for the entire word list. You can actually load up new word lists. This one is specifically in John password list. So what you can do is go to that file and then add in more words. So you can make that file as big as you want. You can have a million words in there, and it's just going to go through and just hammer out each one until it finds a match. If it doesn't find a match, it's eventually going to say, I can't find it. But as you see, it's now proceeding using the ASCII, and so it's going to go through all those as well and then rehash and see what comes up. So with this video, what we're actually going to do is, because this could take quite a bit of time, we're just going to skip ahead, and when we come back, it'll have finished, either found it or it didn't, and I'll explain what happened about the process along the way. All right, and we are back. It has been about an hour, and it has not yet decrypted it. So what this means is that in all likelihood, the password that I use is not in this specific password list. So no matter what variations it goes through, it's not going to find it unless we do some type of brute force on it. Then it's just not it's not going to find it. Now I use a password that is let's see, it's 8 characters in length. It has capital and lower letters, it has numbers, and it has a couple symbols thrown in there. One of them is a replacement symbol and one of them is a random symbol. So this type of password is likely never going to be cracked by anything other than a brute force password, because that type of password is just not going to be found in a password list. So the important thing to note is that as long as you are using complex passwords, then it's going to be much, much more difficult for any type of password cracking tool like John the Ripper, like Hashcat, like Oathcrack. They're going to have a much, much more difficult time cracking it. That concludes this quick tutorial on John the Ripper. Hope you learned something. See you next time.